So now we turn to our prayer cards. The salmon has the Hebrew lettering. The buff has the transliteration. If you did not grab one on the way in, please go get one, though I think I see everybody with a laminated card, so we are good. We'll join in our opening meditation together. We live in a very busy world, but we put aside one day every week for rest. That day is Shabbat. Shabbat is the time that we come together to be with ourselves, our families, our friends, and with God. Let me learn to pause, if only for this day. Let me find peace on this day. Let me enter into a quiet world this day. God, we thank you for our special holy day. We thank you for helping us make our lives holy through this celebration of Shabbat. And we turn to words that are hopefully in your head as we light our candles. And it is my pleasure to invite Jen forward. You get the words, though. They're on the card. That is a sign of somebody who comes to a lot of Torah study classes. So give yourself a pat on the back for that. Invite you to rise in body or spirit for Baruch Hu towards the top of your prayer card. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamivorach. Baruch Adonai Hamivorach. Hamivorach leolam vaed. Hamivorach. Hamivorach leolam vaed. We continue with Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malechuto Leolam vaed. You may be seated. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol meodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlektecha v'derech uv'shokbecha uv'kumecha uv'shartam leot al yadecha והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם emet. We continue together in song with Miriam's song. And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one whom we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long. And Miriam was a weaver of unique variety. The tapestry she wove was one which sang our history. With every strand and every thread she crafted her delight. A woman touched with spirit, she dances toward the light. And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one whom we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long. When Miriam stood upon the shores and gazed across the sea, the wonder of this miracle she soon came to believe. Whoever thought the sea would part with an outstretched hand, and we would pass to freedom and march to the promised land. And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one whom we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long. And Miriam the prophet took her timbrel in her hand, and all the women followed her just as she had planned. And Miriam raised her voice in song, she sang with praise and might. We've just lived through a miracle, we're going to dance tonight. And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one whom we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long. And yalla la la yalla la 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 yalla la la yalla la 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 yalla la yalla la 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 yalla la la yalla la 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 mi chamocha bat elim Adonai mi kamocha netar bakodesh nora tehilo tosefele nora tehilo tosefele malchutecha ra'u vanecha bokei yam lifnei Moshe ze Elianu ve'amru Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed Baruch et Adonai Ga'al Yisrael. I invite you to rise in body or spirit towards the bottom of our prayer card for the Amidah. Adonai sifatai tiftachu fi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, U'mevi Gula Livnei V'nehem, L'man Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozeh U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Ve'ezrat Sarah. God, each of us hears you differently, yet you are the one God for us all. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob each heard you in a different way. To Abraham you gave courage. To Isaac you brought comfort. Jacob learned that you are everywhere, even in places he didn't expect to find you. Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah each heard you in a different way. To Sarah you brought laughter. To Rebecca you gave strength. To Rachel you taught kindness. And to Leah you brought love. May each of us hear you in our own special way, and may we always feel your protection. We praise you, eternal God. You are the shield of Abraham, the help of Sarah, the one God of all Jews and all the world. You may be seated as we take a moment for private reflection.
Yehi ratzon imrefi vehegyon libi lefanecha Adonai tzuri Adonai tzuri v'goali At this time, we'll rise as we take the Torah from the Ark, if you are able to.
She's not letting me carry the Torah. Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo, Gadlu Adonai Iti, Unerumema Shemo Yachdav. This is not on your prayer card. Lecha Adonai Hagedula veHagevura veHatiferet veNetzach veHahod Ki Chol Bashamayim Uvaretz Ki Chol Bashamayim Uvaretz Lecha Adonai HaMamlacha veHamit Naseh Lechol Rosh Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lehar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lehar kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishachavu lehar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishachavu lehar kodsho.
seated. For those of you who would like to follow along in the Plaut Chumash, I'll be reading from the top of page 63. We are in Parashat Noah, which is, of course, the story of Noah, although the portion contains other important stories as well, like the story of the Tower of Babel. But I believe we have a wonderful story this evening that will take us a little bit into a different direction with the story of Noah, so I'll read from there. The blessings for Torah are on the back of your prayer card. I invite you to please join with me. Baruch hu et Adonai hamavorach, Baruch Adonai hamavorach leolam vaed, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, V'natan lanu et Torato, Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'Torah. I did set this before, I promise. Here we go. Maybe. Here it is. When we are this far to the end, it's easy when you roll it up for it to roll all the way up. Here we go. V'yidaber Elohim el Noach, and God spoke to Noah, Lemor, saying, Tzei min hateva, go out forth from the teva, from the ark, ata ve'ishtecha, you and your wives, uvanecha, and your sons, unshevanecha, and the wives of your sons, itach, with you, kol hachaya asher itach, and all of the living animals that are with you, mikol basar ba'of uvabehema, uvachol haremes haromes al haaretz. That's all of those things. You should have the bird and the beast and all that creep over the earth. Let them swarm on the earth. Vishartsu ba'aretz, ufru urabu al haaretz, that they may increase and multiply upon the earth. Vayetze Noach uvanav ve'ishto unshevanav, and so went forth Noah and his sons and his wife and the sons' wives, ito, with him. Kol hachaya, every animal. Kol haromes, all of the creepy things. V'kol ha'of, kol haromes al ha'aretz, and the birds and everything that is swarming on the earth. Lemishpechotehem, according to each of their families or their groups. Vayetzu min hateva, they went forth from the teva, from the ark. Vayiven Noach mizbeach l'Adonai, and there Noah built a mizbeach, an altar for God. Vayikach mikol habehema hatohara, and he took from every clean or pure beast, umikol ha'of hatahor, and as well as every bird that was considered pure. Vaya'al olot hamizbeach, and lifted up sacrifices on this altar. V'yareach Adonai el reach et reach hanichoach, and God smelled this beautiful fragrance. Vayomer Adonai el libo, and God said into God's heart, Lo osif lekalel od et ha'adama, I will not continue again to curse the earth. Uva'avur ha'adam, and all that is on the earth. Ki yetzer lev ha'adam ra, because the heart of man is inclined towards evil, mina arav, from the time of his youth. V'lo osif od lahakot et kol chai ka'asher asiti. And I will therefore no longer, and the word is actually to hit, but it's destroy life like this as I have already done. So God is promising not to do it again. Please join with me on the second blessing. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah. As we have the Torah in our midst, we'd like to think of those who are in need of healing, of peace, of fullness, of life. At first, we will think of those who are being held hostage as we offer Achenu. Our God, the one who raised Joseph up from the pit, be a refuge for the oppressed, a refuge in times of trouble. Send complete rescue and full redemption to all those held captive by the enemy. Strengthen their spirit and bring them our prayers, that they be protected from all harm. Implant understanding in the heart of the enemy, that they may return the captives in wholeness of body and spirit. Grant wisdom to the Israel Defense Forces, that they may secure freedom for the captives without loss of life. Grant strength of spirit and courage of heart to all the sons and daughters of Abraham, Sarah, and Hagar, to release bonds of captivity and allow us all to live in freedom. From Psalm 91, they shall call upon me and I will answer them. I will be with them in distress. I will rescue them and honor them. Do you have Mishaberach Avotenu v'imotenu. O God, we name in our hearts and minds those who are facing illness and pain. May they benefit from the healing power within them and from the wisdom, experience, and skill of those entrusted with their care. May those who are ill find strength in the knowledge that those who love them and care about them and are praying for them are wishing them well. May they find courage and comfort in any difficult days ahead. Tonight we think especially of Maureen Bolmgren, Henry Guggenheimer, Binyamina Batshalva Va'adam, Tim Holman, Jim Locke, Jordan Arms, Ella Dubrow, Jeremy Watts, Brandon Watts, Bert Seidel, Bruce Brenner, Barb Gronefeld, Isaac Spicer, David Hernandez, Norman and Carol Leist, Andy Leifheit, Rob Mandel, Ken Rosenzweig, Kyle Kreider, Anna Pullman Garcia, Bobby DeSalvo, Justin Zeisloft, Natalie Katz, Cynthia Weston, Isaac Stoller, Kazimira Cairo, Mariah Strickland, Eileen Eady, Catherine Cooper, Sid Gross, Cicely Nathan, and Gary Pacernick. If there are other names to be thought of at this time, I invite you to call those as my hand goes around the room. Baruch atah Adonai Rofei HaCholim. Blessed are you, O God, who brings healing to all who are in need of healing. We turn, still on the backside, for the words of Mishaberach. Mishaberach avotenu mikor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach imotenu mikor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing. with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. If you are able, I invite you to please rise as we lift and dress our Torah. V'zot haTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael pi Adonai b'yad Moshe.
So our story tonight comes from one of my new favorite books by Rabbi Sandy Sasso, who retells 3 biblical stories about animals from the perspective of the animals. So she opens with the raven cawing, "I'm not going. It is noisy and crowded in this ark, but I will not be the first one out, no way." This is, of course, after Noah has asked the raven to go scout out if there is dry land. "But someone has to go first," insisted Noah. "We can't stay inside this boat forever. We're running out of food. And the smell." Noah held his nose. "But why send me?" croaked the raven. "I haven't caused any trouble. Who knows what it's like outside the ark?" He pointed with his curved beak to the endless water with no place to rest. Noah wouldn't budge, and Raven wouldn't fly. The animals wouldn't stop complaining. Nama, Noah's wife, shook her head. "No way this is going to work," Nama said. "The animals are arguing, and so are we. It is a zoo in here. We cannot continue this way for much longer." Just like Noah, she held her nose from the smell. She suggested other animals for the task. Jaguar could run, ant could crawl, rabbit could hop, snake could slither, kangaroo could jump, and monkey could climb, but with only water as far as they could see, none of them wanted to help. Nama decided to talk to Dove. Dove's cooing put her to sleep at night, and it wasn't an easy task. When the lions weren't roaring and the bees buzzing, the chickens were clucking, the rhinoceroses were bellowing. Just when she thought there might be some quiet, the peacocks screamed and the geese cackled. If Dove's song could give her some peace, maybe Dove would have an idea. "We can't stay here in the ark much longer, but everyone is afraid to leave," Nama said to her feathered friend. "Noah has asked Raven to see if there is land, but he won't go. Maybe he's afraid that he will get lost." Dove cooed, "I can help. I have a great sense of direction. I will talk to him bird to bird." Nama tried to smile, but she was still shaking. Dove flew over to Raven's nest. "Let's get away from the other animals," cooed Dove. Raven hopped to the edge of the ark and looked out over the expanse of water and shivered. Dove's head bobbed up and down as she began to try to soothe Raven's ruffled feathers. "We are birds of feather," she said. "If we can't work this out, nobody can." "You want to get rid of me too?" Raven screamed. "Noah hates me because I'm loud and sometimes I copy the way he talks," Raven said. "No," Dove insisted. "He does not hate you. Right now, he can't stand any of us. He is tired of the noise and the smell. He is tired of feeding us day and night. He wants out of this ark." "So let him go," suggested Raven. "Or you go if you think it's such a good idea." Dove whistled. I eat fruits and vegetables. The flood has washed them all away. But you eat meat, and you might find food. Raven was about to say, let's wait for God to tell us when it's safe to leave. After all, God told us when to enter. But on second thought, maybe God was waiting for him to do something. Remember, cried Raven, God said, bring 2 of every kind on the ark. If I get lost, what will happen to my partner? Without me, she will be all alone in her nest. Without me, there will be no more ravens in the skies, not now, not ever. I think I can help, offered Dove. I always find my way home. If you go, I will keep watch. If you are lost, I will come find you. Raven did not croak or scream. He did the amazing thing that ravens do. He copied the human voice. He sounded just like Nama when he told Dove, you are like a compass. You know north from south, east from west. You know where home is. Dove responded, and you are clever. You can caw and warble and do funny tricks. You can even talk like Noah and Nama. It's like little children. I love it. Yes, he sighed. That gets me into lots of trouble. But someone had to do something, and Raven finally agreed he would be the one. I will go, but you must do 2 things. Bring me a seed from one of the plants on the ark, and if I do not find land, promise that you will come find me. Dove agreed. She brought Raven a small green olive seed. She cooed, take this and fly free. Drop it so that it can become a tree. I will tell Nama of our plan. Raven put the seed in his mouth and flew from the ark. He went back and forth, looking for a dry place to stand. Seeing none, he dropped the seed, hoping it would find enough earth to grow roots. Noah sighed, disappointed that Raven did not sight land. How long will it take before we can leave this ark? Enough already, he shouted into the damp air. Then he buried his face in his hands. When the days dragged on, Nama whispered to Noah, it's time to send Dove. Noah did not often listen to what others told him, but he had no other ideas, so Noah sent Dove. Dove searched for Raven as she had said she would, and kept a lookout for an olive tree. She found Raven, but no tree. What happened? Dove asked Raven. Water is everywhere. There is no tree. Did you drop the seed I gave you? Be patient, squawked Raven. A seed takes a long time to grow. So Dove returned to the ark. She waited for a while before she flew over the waters a second time. She flew and she looked, and she looked and she flew. Her wings fluttered until they ached. Then Dove saw it, a small olive tree. She plucked off a branch and flew with it in her beak back to the ark. Thank God, shouted Noah. Thank Raven, cooed Dove. Thank Dove, added Nama. And this is how it all happened way back when. And when all the animals finally left the ark, you could see 2 doves and 2 ravens, white and black, flying away together. And in the distance, God made a rainbow. And I love this telling of the story, in part because, as we said just about a week ago, we turn the words of Torah over and over, that it allows us to see Torah from a new perspective. But Noah also asked Raven initially, who's not really the star of the show in the Bible, to be the one to venture forth. And with his concerns of maybe it's a trap, or I'll get lost, or I'll leave my mate alone, I think we can understand the impulse to step back from a daunting challenge. But it's with Dove's empathetic and thoughtfulness and understanding that she nudges Raven to be able to take on this task and supports him, doesn't do it for him. And so as I shared this story with you, I'll ask you the question, are you more like Raven, Dove, or Nama? And that is a story I hope you carry with you on this Shabbat, and I will invite you to rise as we return the Torah to the ark towards the middle, bottom-ish of our cards. Middle, more middle. Eitz chaim hi lamachazikim ba v'tomecheha meushar deracheha noam v'chol nativoteha shalom. Hashivenu Adonai elecha v'nashuva Chadesh Yamenu kekedem Chadesh Yamenu kekedem. We continue with Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol latet gidula leotze breshit shelo asanu kegaye haratzot v'lo samanu kemishpachot adama shelo sam chelkenu kahem v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam v'anachnu korim umishtachavim umodim Lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu v'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. You may be seated as the ark is closed. And as we begin to conclude our service, we take a moment to think of those whom death has taken from us recently. As a congregation, we're in a period of Shiva for B. Balis, and a period of Shloshim for Henrietta Lubo, David Cox, and Loretta Weber. And we recall those who died at this seasons in years past with the yahrzeits of Anne Angel, Rosalind Levitt Bamberger, Earl Bixler, Ruth Bussey, David Kasher, Carl Cohen, Marvin Cooper, Joseph P. Diamond, Ralph Donenfeld, Marjorie Jane Emhoff, Ruth Getz, Maurice Golden, Adolf Goldenberg, John A. Goldswig, Eva Hoffman, Yale J. Holt, Harry Israel Jr., Harry J. Jacobs, Aaron Knoll, Molly Cussworm, Abraham I. Margolis, Miriam H. Margolis, Helmut Orgler, Alfred Orgler, Hedwig Orgler, Walter Orgler, Heinz Orgler, Edward Herb Raddick, Eleanor Seidel, Arnold Saldoff, Louis N. Saldoff, Roy Stepp, Carl A. Stern, Herta Wells, and Sophia Wolf. If there are other names that ought be added or pronounced more correctly, I invite you to add them. Ask that those in mourning or remembering rise first. And we'll join them standing as one community for the words of Kaddish on the back of your cards. Yit gadal v'kadash shemei rabba, b'alma divra chirute v'yamlich malchute, b'chayechon uvyomechon, uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael, b'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shemei rabba mivarach le'alam ulalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yit hadar, v'yit ale, v'yit halal, shemei de kudesha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran b'alma, v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shamaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'imrumav, hu ya'asei shalom, Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who grieve. And let us say, Amen. Our closing prayer. We thank you, O God, for our family and for what we mean and bring to one another. We are grateful for the bonds of loyalty and affection which sustain us and for the capacity to love and to care. Bless our family, our congregation, and our people with health, happiness, and contentment. Above all, grant us the wisdom to build a joyous and peaceful home in which your Spirit will always abide. Amen. And Shabbat Shalom, we will join in the hall for Kiddush and Motzi, and while not a full dinner, there is a bit of a nosh.